Hi everyone, my name is Eliana Chavez. I am a teacher candidate here at the University of Houston downtown, and the book I have chosen for my lesson is called On the Same Day in March, A Tour of the World's Weather. The author is Marilyn and it is illustrated by Fran Lazak. This book was published by HarperCollins Publishers in the year of 2001. And it is a nonfiction narrative picture book. The reason I have chosen this book is mainly because I love the idea of being able to have my students get a glimpse of what the world's weather looks like, and this book just does just that. I love to travel personally and would have loved to learn more of different things that other people do while I am enjoying certain types of weather. I believe that this book does a great job at showing great illustrations of the different climates and the important aspects of certain locations. And not only does it have great visuals, this book also does a great job at informing the reader with informative text. And I just thought that this would be a great book to pair to a unit on weather, and it helps students see that weather can be different on the same day all over the world. So let's get started. On the Same Day in March, A Tour of the World's Weather by Marilyn, illustrated by Fran Lazak. Here's the inside, a world map. In the Arctic, polar bears ride on the floes of ice, stalking seals, wishing fish, as the 6-month sun begins to rise, slowly in the Arctic skies, on the same day in March. In Alberta, Canada, just when you can't even remember spring, that wild chinook blows in like a dragon. And quicker than you can say, Medicine Hat, the biggest snow fort ever, is nothing but a dragon-shaped patch in somebody's backyard on the same day in March. In Paris, France, the sun slips out, still winter pale, but all over the city, at the bus stops and markets, on small streets and grand boulevards, people hurrying to work or school, people huddle in their coats and scarves, sitting at outdoor cafes and sipping chocolate. All of them turn up their faces to enjoy the sunshine smile on the same day in March. In New York City, it's too great to play outside today. The parents sigh, the little kids complain, but the basketball players stay in the schoolyard, arguing what's worse, snow or sleet on freezing rain, on the same day in March. In the Texas Panhandle, they said it was just a tiny twister, not big enough to spin a horse or hoist a cow, but it did suck up a bucket of water and give Grandma's dirty old truck the first wash it's had in weeks, on the same day in March. In the Nile Valley, fogs thread through the temples. In a Louisiana bayou, fogs settle on the swamp, on the same day in March. In Xi'an, China, in the park the old men and small children guess. What will the wind carry today? Clouds of blue-winged swallows, dust that hurts their eyes, rain from up the mountain, kites shaped like butterflies, on the same day in March. In Darjeeling, India, hailstones all over the hillside, No one is happy except little sister, who thinks the moon has broken and scattered its necklace of pearls on the same day in March. In central Thailand, it's too hot to plant rice. It's too hot to pick rice, but it's not too hot to spell rice on the blackboard in the school on the same day in March. In Dakar, Senegal, sunlight sparkles on the market. In Barbados, sunlight dazzles on the sand on the same day in March. In northern Kenya, the rain comes, and all in one day they leave the gift of a river. Everyone, hurry, come drink, come play, before the sun shines, and all in one day takes the river away, on the same day in March. In the Amazon basin, Brazil, Grandpapa is always late. The rain is always on time, arriving at 3 o'clock yesterday, 3 o'clock tomorrow, 3 o'clock today. Only the weather wears a watch, Grandpa likes to say, whenever he or the rain makes everyone wait, on the same day in March. In Darwin, Australia, board up the windows, bring in the boat. Better to be like crocodiles crouched on the shore than to be out sailing the sea when the Willy Willies come to call on the same day in March. In Patagonia, Argentina, over the wide, dry plain, autumn shares the clouds like a flock of sheep. Catch the wool, Mama teases her youngest son. He doesn't understand why these white puffs vanish wet and cold in his fat, warm hands on the same day in March. In Antarctica, penguins scramble on the shore, seeking mates, missing fish, as the 6-month sub begins to slice down below the Antarctic ice, all in the same day in March. And at the end of the book, the author has left a note. It says, a note from the author. It takes the Earth 365 days, 1 year, to make a complete trip around the sun. The Earth does not sit straight up and down in the heavens. It tilts on its axis, an imaginary line running through the center. The top of its axis is the North Pole. The bottom is the South Pole. As the Earth orbits, sometimes as this North Pole tips towards the sun, and sometimes it tips away from the sun. The tilt is what gives us the seasons. In March, winter turns to spring in the northern hemisphere, and summer turns to fall in the southern hemisphere. The North Pole will soon lean closer to the sun, giving the Arctic 6 months of daylight and warmer weather. The South Pole will lean farther and farther away from the sun, slipping Antarctica into 6 months of darkness and bitter cold. On any given day in March, somewhere in the world, it may be raining, snowing, or hailing. It may be sunny, foggy, or windy. There are places where the weather doesn't change much throughout the year. For example, in the equatorial rainforests, it is hot and humid, and it does not rain at the same time every day. There are other parts of the world where the weather can sometimes change from hour to hour. New York City, where I live, is one of those places. Marilyn Singer. Thank you.